Morning everyone, good welcome to our Monday morning sunrise class. So we're going to start seated, so you can come to sit on maybe a folded blanket or a brick if you have one, have a little move around and maybe roll the shoulders a couple of times. Morning Mandy, we're just starting seated, and then just kind of find that central point where you feel you can settle. Maybe the palms are facing up on the legs or maybe down, so just get a sense of what would feel right. And then as you begin to settle, take those longer, deeper breaths. So you're breathing in, feeling that length through the spine, out through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, draw the belly in a little and feel yourself soften back down into your base. Doing that a couple of times until you feel like you can physically settle. The breath return to a natural rhythm. And just begin to take your awareness inwards, turning that light on inside just to see what is going on this morning. How you feel physically as you sit here on the earth. What kind of mood is there? What kind of energy levels are there? And also notice any thoughts. Thoughts will come, and that's okay. Just notice the quality of the thoughts. Maybe they're quite random, almost unnecessary, or maybe they're planning or strategizing or reminiscing, just kind of noticing, kind of go, oh yeah, that's me planning away, or daydreaming, or whatever it is. And then very gently bring your awareness back to the breath. So when we do this, what we're trying to do is become aware of the habitual ways of thinking that we all have. We can have these recurring themes and stories that we tell ourselves. Some of them are not so helpful, and some of them may be even detrimental to our well-being. So this week, we're going to continue to shine that kind of gentle light of awareness on our thought patterns. And particularly this week on our self-talk. And we've covered this before, many of you will be familiar with this one, but I feel that this is an important one to keep coming back to. So that maybe we can start to begin to move into a place where we understand that we are not our thoughts. We are actually the awareness between our thoughts. And physically we'll open up around the heart, the sides of the body in particular. See if we can free some space around the heart so that we can kind of invite in that sense of self-love and compassion as a kind of, maybe you might want to see it as an antidote to the inner critic that we all have. So we just shine a gentle light of awareness on it and see where we can release and let go. So when you're ready, take another long, deep breath. And a long exhale. And then inhaling, reaching the hands out to the side, all the way up to the top. You might take the gaze up to the thumbs and then exhale, bringing the hands into the heart space, drawing back down into your base. Morning Orla. Inhale, reach the hands out and up. And draw the belly in as you bring the hands back down into the heart as well. And then inhale to the top. And this time exhale, release the hands behind and interlace the fingers. Draw the shoulder blades together, open up through the upper chest, the collarbones, but keep the belly drawn in. So keeping that connection in the belly so that the lower back is protected. Squeezing into the shoulders and the upper arms to where feels right. And then as you inhale, release the hands back up to the top. And exhale down into the heart space. And then releasing that right hand out to the side, inhale, left hand lifts. And then as you exhale, begin to fold over to that side. You might keep a little bend into that elbow, have the palm facing down, and just draw back through the left shoulder ever so slightly. And then feel that you could breathe into the side of the chest there. Make that your kind of focus, breathing in to the side. Breathing out long, really taking your time. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then as you inhale, come up and over to the other side, plant that hand down, and draw back slightly through that right shoulder. The elbow can be bent a little bit and feel that you could breathe into that side. And if the right hip feels like it's lifting, then just draw it down into the earth. So side stretch, but a focus on breathing into the side ribs, opening the heart. And then as you inhale, come all the way up to the top, reach the hands up. And exhale to bring the hands into the heart space. Swap over the legs, so the other ankle in front, probably the way that feels strange. And then inhale, reach the hands back up. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand over to the right, so moving into a little twist into that side. So as you inhale, lift the heart, so feel as if the collarbones lift a little. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in and twist. And the pelvis and the hips don't move, it's really coming from the torso, up through the spine, through the shoulders. And then as you inhale, come back to the center, reach the hands up. And exhaling over to the other side. And as ever with these first few movements, it's really nice to notice how you're feeling. Maybe there's a lightness in the body. Maybe there's tension and tightness. And it gives you an indication of where to take your practice. So do listen to that. And then as you inhale, come back to the center. And exhale to bring the hands down into the heart. And pause here for a moment. And you might just set an intention. I find it wonderful to set an intention at the beginning of the day, particularly at the beginning of the week. How do you want your week to be? Calm, spacious, peaceful, resilient. Whatever it is, calling it in positive present tense. I am calm. I am aware. I am awake. Let it settle at the heart space with one deep breath. And exhale. And then releasing over the legs, come into tabletop. And we'll have some kind of side-to-side wiggles, but draw the belly in and move the hips perhaps over to the right side, one side, and then reach the left hand over to the right. So there's like a stretch through the side body. And then inhale, come back to the center. Move the hips over to the left. Keep the belly drawn in, there's no back bending, and then reach the right hand over to the left. The fingertips might be just on the mat. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, hips to the right hand, left hand to the right. Doesn't really matter where it goes, just stretching through that side. Inhale, center. Exhale, hips to the left, right hand to the left. And then inhale, center, moving through a couple of cat-cows. You could tuck the toes, allow the belly to drop, gaze upwards. And as you exhale, draw the belly in, untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet into the mat, chin to chest. Inhaling to round, soft through the belly. And exhale. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale. And then tuck the toes at the back. Sit back towards the heels. And see if you can get each toe onto the mat. A little toe stretch, just for a couple of breaths. Sit back into the heels. You could walk up so that you're sitting on the heels, maybe hands to prayer. And just having that stretch through the toes. And each time you exhale, you can draw the belly in, particularly if you're sitting back onto the heels. This is particularly energizing, I find, in the morning. So just taking some time there, just allowing the toes to stretch out, not something we do too often. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, release the hands down, untuck the toes, give them a little wiggle, circle through the ankles, and then tuck the toes again, coming into your down dog. Have a little walk out through the legs. Make sure the fingertips are nicely spread. Release the head, release the jaw. And then take an inhale, come onto the heel, no, not the heels, the toes, lift the heels. And then as you exhale, turn the heels to the right, and then sink the heels towards the mat. And then as you inhale, come back to the center, lifting the heels, so you're just on the toes. And then exhale the heels to the left and sink the heels towards the mat. Not that they might come down, depending on what's happening. But see how you go. So you're inhaling up to the top, heels lift, and then exhale over to the right. Inhale to the top, and exhale over to the left. And then inhaling to the top, come back to the center. Exhaling, softening in, release the head. And then gazing forward, walk, step the feet to the top of the mat, find your half lift. And then as you exhale, fold in over the legs. Bend through the knees a little, inhale to come all the way up to stand, reach through the fingertips. And as you exhale, bring the hands into the heart space. Take an inhale, reach the hands back up to the top. And as you exhale, fold all the way through. Release the hands and ahead as you come back down. Inhale for your half lift. Maybe fingertips are on the mat, or maybe the hands are onto the shins, depending on how you're feeling. Plant the hands down, step back, right leg. Bring the knee down. Inhale to come into your low lunge, but make sure the left knee is over the ankle at the front. And as you exhale, interlace the fingers, draw the belly in, and press the palms into the air. So keep the shoulders soft away from the head so it's not coming up around the ears. Draw that left hip in ever so slightly. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, fold over to the left side. So again, that kind of breathing into the side ribs. Inhale back up to the top. And exhale over to the other side. Inhale to the top. And as you exhale, release the hands down. Come onto the fingertips. Take an inhale and lift the heart. And as you exhale, straighten that left leg. So draw the left hip back and fold over the leg. So maybe the forehead comes towards the knee or the shin. And then inhale, come forward again. Plant the hands down. Step back to plank or maybe tabletop, depending on how the energy levels are today. Shoulders over wrists, belly is drawn in, whichever one you're in. Take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, come forward with the crown of the head and keep that flat back until you come all the way down. Hands under shoulders, inhale to a little cobra, press the tops of the feet into the mat, and then exhale, travel back into your down dog. And then inhale, step the right foot forward, left knee down, right knee over ankle, inhale to your lunge. Interlace the fingers. As you exhale, draw the belly in and press the palms up. And as you do that, just have a kind of, like the hands are almost drawing away from one another, just so you can open up into the shoulders and the biceps a bit more as well. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, fold over to the right. Might not be very far, but you can probably feel that almost straight away on that left side. Breathing into that side rib. Inhale to the center. And exhale to the other side. They're quite subtle movements. They're not huge movements. Feel that you can just breathe into the side and almost remembering that the heart isn't just at the front of the chest. It's all the way around as well. Take an inhale, come back to the center, and as you exhale, release the hands. Onto the fingertips, take an inhale, lift the heart. And as you exhale, straighten that right leg, draw the right hip back. It doesn't mean the leg needs to be straight, it's just a stretch that feels right in the back of that leg. It might be quite tight, so there might be a bend. Inhale to come forward, plant the hands down, tuck the toes at the back so that leg is strong, and then you can step forward into your half lift, and then exhale, fold in over the legs. Bend through the knees a little as you inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale to bring the hands into the heart space. Inhale to reach the hands back up to the top. And as you exhale, fold from the hips, come all the way back down, release the hands and head. Inhale for your half lift. And exhale, step left leg back, drop the knee. This time interlace the fingers, release the index finger and inhale to your lunge. So you've got the palms pressing together, the index finger pointing up. Maybe the biceps start to come back by the ears, so you're opening further into the tops of the arms and the shoulders, and draw the belly in, so there's no back bending. Take an inhale there. And as you exhale, folding over to the right side. Inhaling to the top. Keep the shoulders soft. Exhale to the left. So it's just the torso, the arms moving, not the lower body. Inhale to the top and exhale to bring the hands down. Inhale to lift the heart. And as you exhale and straighten that leg, you could lift the heel this time, or if you lifted the heel last time, keep the toe down. I didn't specify on that one. So just play around with that. Inhale to come forward. Plant the hands down, step back, plank or tabletop. Take an inhale, draw the belly in. Exhale, forward and down. Hands under the shoulders, inhale, draw elbows in, shoulders down the back. And exhale, travel back to your down dog. From your down dog, inhale, left foot steps forward, drop the right knee, interlace the fingers, release the index. Come all the way up to your lunge, maybe drawing the biceps back by the ears. Inhale to reach the fingertips up, draw the belly in and fold over to the left side. So the legs are staying nice and steady. Inhale to the top and exhale to the other side. Inhale to the top and exhale, release. Onto the fingertips, take an inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, beginning to straighten that leg. You might lift the toes this time or keep the toes down, just playing around with the slightly different feeling of that stretch when you lift the toes or keep them down. Inhale to come forward. Step forward with the right leg into your half lift. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to come all the way back up to stand. And exhale the hands to prayer. Take a breath there, inhaling. And exhale. And then we're going to move into chair. So either feet together or feet hip distance, whichever feels right for your body. So you're inhaling, sitting down nice and low into the heels. Lift the toes, draw the hands up. And at that point as well, you might feel you can draw the biceps back further, as if they could squeeze in around the ears. Draw belly in, make sure there's no back bending, take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, fold all the way through. Inhale for your half lift. And we'll exhale and step that left leg back. Plant the foot down. Inhale to your warrior one. Actually, you can cross the thumbs and then inhale to your warrior one. So the fingertips are nicely spread, the thumbs are crossing. And as you get to the top, draw the belly in, bend into that right leg, and almost like pull on the thumbs and feel how that opens up into the shoulders, perhaps the armpits, and perhaps further down into the side ribs. Keep the belly drawn in. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands. We'll come onto the fingertips. Inhale to lift the heart. And as you exhale, straighten that right leg and fold over the leg. So the forehead might start to come towards the knee or the shin. And just see where you can draw that right hip back. Breathing into that stretch. And then take an inhale, come onto the fingertips. Plant the hands down, step back to your plank or your tabletop. Take a breath there. Belly is drawn in. Exhale, crown of the head forward, all the way down this time, and bring the hands beside the body. Bring the toes towards one another. The thumbs are facing down, palms facing in. And as you inhale, lift into your Shalabhasana, your locust pose. And as you exhale, soften down. Do that a couple of times. Inhale to lift. Exhale, softening. Inhale. And then exhale, release the hands under the shoulders, push back into your down dog. Stepping the left foot forward, plant the right foot down. Inhale, hook the thumbs again and cross them the opposite way. And then inhale to your warrior one. And again, bending into that left leg, draw the belly in, plant the right foot down and pull the thumbs away from one another. So really activate into the tops of the arms and into the shoulders. And you might draw the biceps by the ears. So drawing back, depending on what's happening. So no tension in the neck there. Don't create any tension. Spreading the fingertips. Take another big inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands. Come onto the fingertips. Inhale to lift the heart. And exhale to straighten that left leg, folding over. Maybe the forehead coming towards the knee or the shin. And that left hip gently drawing back. And then as you inhale, come back onto the fingertips. And then as you exhale, step forward with the right leg into your half lift. Exhaling, folding in. Inhale to come back to your chair. And exhale to stand. Inhale to your chair. Squeeze the biceps in towards the head or the ears. Draw the belly in. Lengthen tailbone. Take an inhale. Reach through the fingertips. And as you exhale, fold all the way through. Inhale for your half lift. And we'll exhale, step back with the right leg. Inhale to your warrior one. And this time we'll release the hands behind. So that right foot is nicely planted down. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, begin to fold forward. And as you do that, you might feel you can bend into the left leg a little bit more. You might feel you could draw the left hip in to the midline of the body, so it's not kind of sticking out to the side. And you're not collapsing down into the leg either, so you might even keep the heart lifted a little bit. Breathing there. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another. And then take an inhale, release the hands onto the mat, and exhale, step back to your plank or tabletop. Take an inhale and exhale all the way through. Come all the way down onto the belly. You can bring the hands beside the body, or you could try reaching them overhead and squeeze the biceps towards one another or into the head. Inhale to lift. So lifting the head and the arms and the chest. Draw the toes towards one another. Exhale to soften in. Inhale to lift. And exhale to soften. Do one more. Inhale. And then exhale, release the hands under the shoulders, push back into your down dog. And then from your down dog, step the right foot forward, plant the left foot. Inhale to your warrior one. Exhale, the hands behind. Interlace the fingers to the opposite little fingers outside. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. And then exhaling, folding forward. And again, it might be that little further bend into the right hip. Pay attention to where the hip is. Can you draw it in to the midline? And that'll mean it'll be more in line with the knee. Keep the heart lifted. Keep the neck soft. Keep the breath flowing. And then take an inhale, release the hands. Step forward with that left leg. Half lift. Exhaling, folding in. Inhale to your chair. And exhale to stand. Inhale to your chair. Squeeze the biceps towards the cheeks, the ears. As you exhale, draw belly in. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, step left leg back. Lead with the left hand as you inhale to come up to your warrior two. And exhale, straighten that right leg. Turn the palms forward, take an inhale. And exhale, reverse, so bring that right hand up. And create that opening through the side. Breathe into the side ribs. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, reach the right hand forward. Hand coming maybe below the knee, the shin, and reach that left hand up. So you're Trikonasana, but keep drawing back through the left shoulder, as if you were trying to get that left shoulder onto the wall, onto something flat behind you. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands down, and then walk the hands to the middle of the mat. And as you do, turn the feet. So the toes pointing in towards one another, the outsides of the feet planting down. Inhale to come onto the fingertips. And exhale to fold in. You might even do that a couple of times if it feels good. Or just pause with it. Wherever you go though, release the head. So give the head a little shake. Give the jaw a little bit of a release. And then as you inhale, come back onto the fingertips. Walk the right toes forward again and step back, plank, tabletop. You could always miss these out if you've had enough of them. Inhale there. Keep the belly drawn in as the head comes forward. Come all the way down. Inhale to bring the hands behind the body this time. And then lift the head and chest and hands and legs all up. And as you exhale, there's just a little bit of softness. And then as you inhale, coming back up again, energizing that. Exhale. One more inhale to lift. And then exhale, the hands under the shoulders, push back. Down dog. And then from your down dog, step the left leg. Plant the right foot down, lead with the right hand. Inhale to your warrior one. Warrior two even, and then straighten that left leg. Turn the palms forward, take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift the left hand up and feel that opening again through the side rib, perhaps through the shoulder, breathing into that space. Take another big inhale, and then as you exhale, reach the left hand forward into your Trikonasana. And pay particular attention to that right shoulder as you draw it back and open. Very little weight onto that left hand, left leg even, from the left hand. It's like just little finger just resting on the leg. Take another big inhale. And as you exhale, release the hands. Walk the hands to the middle of the mat. Turn the toes as you go. And you can do that again, just fingertips on the mat, gazing forward, lifting up. Or you could interlace the hands behind. See what would be best for you. And even if you interlace the hands behind, you might do that little lift. So that inhale, lifting the heart. Shoulder blades move towards one another, and then an exhaling, folding in. The hands might move over the head, but there's still quite a space between ears, head, and shoulders. So really kind of actively draw the shoulder blades away if you've got the hands interlaced. And even if you've got the hands down, actually, Create space. And then take another inhale. Release the hands if the hands are behind you. Turn the left toes forward again. Stepping back. Plank, tabletop. One more time. Take an inhale. And then exhale, come all the way down onto your belly. And this time we'll bring the right hand across the top of the mat. Bend into the left leg. Take the ankle, the foot with the left hand. And then inhale, press into the forearm, lift. And you might kick the foot into the hand, or it might feel better to draw the foot in. So play around with that. It might depend what's happening in that left knee. Sometimes there can be little niggles in that knee. Just back away from them. Definitely not good. Take another inhale. And release. Swap over. Inhale to lift. Exhale to soften just a little. Inhale. And exhale. Take a big breath. And exhale, release. Hands under the shoulders, push back into your child's pose and pause there for a few breaths, either having the hands reaching forward or the hands beside the body. So just resting in your child's pose for a moment, for a few breaths. And I really love the analogy about going on a journey with someone for several decades. How important would the relationship be between the two of you? You probably want to make quite an effort to get along. You would get to know this person really well. And you would know if they were feeling a bit off or a bit sad or a bit tired. And you would adjust the way that you speak to them. And this journey is the one that we're all on. And it's really interesting to kind of apply that to ourselves. And think that how is our voice inside our heads? But for many of us, the relationship with ourselves isn't so positive, or at times it isn't positive. So there might be times when we are tired and we just need a rest and we just tell ourselves, no, just carry on, need to get this done. But we wouldn't do that with a dear friend. We wouldn't do that with somebody really important to us. We would tell them to rest. We would say, go home, have some time for yourself. So the idea is to start to kind of explore how that would be to be a bit kinder to ourselves and to really notice, with all of this, it's noticing when we are not kind to ourselves, when we have that inner critic. And really that's always the first step with this stuff. So noticing when you could be kinder, you could have more compassion. So when you're ready, inhale to come back up and exhale to your down dog. And have a little wiggle out through the hips and the legs. And then lift the pelvis as you inhale. And as you exhale, turn the heels to the right, soften the heels down. Press into the hands, release the head as well. So inhale to lift, come back to the center, and then exhale the heels to the left and allow them to sink down to the left. Inhale to the top and exhaling to the right. Inhale and exhale. Come back to the center, take an inhale. Exhale, heels softening, head softening, and see if you can release the right hand to reach towards the left ankle. And if it does, can you then bring the gaze under that right shoulder? So make sure you've got a little bend into that left elbow if you need to. And then as you inhale, release the right hand back down. Press that hand into the mat and then lift the left. See if you can reach to take hold of the right ankle. And if you can, you're kind of gazing under the right armpit, opening up through that side. Twister pose. Take an inhale, release. And as you exhale, release the knees, release the legs. Press through the pelvis at the back, press through the feet. the heels pressing away, hands beside the hips. Inhale to find length, and exhale to draw the belly in. Take an inhale, and exhale. And then hook the thumbs, spread the fingertips. Take an inhale, reach forward and all the way up to the top. And again, that kind of drawing down through the shoulder blades, the thumbs pulling away from one another, so you're opening up through the shoulders, and that opening through the side body. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, folding forward from the hips, reaching through the fingers, and then maybe just release the hands and then bring them onto the shins, maybe the toes. Maybe you could take the big toes or the outsides of the feet. Doesn't really matter because we can use the breath here. So as you inhale, lift and lengthen. Keep the heels pressing away and a little bit through the outsides of the feet as well. And then as you exhale, soften in. Do that a couple of times with your breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then hook the thumbs again, but the opposite way, the way that probably feels strange. Inhale to reach forward and all the way up to the top. Keep the heels pressing away. And as you exhale, fold over to the left side. So opening up through that side rib. Keep the shoulders soft. Inhale to the center and exhale to the other side. Keep the heels pressing away. And then inhale to the center and exhale, release the hands. Bend into the right leg. Bring the foot up and over. You can leave that left leg where it is or bring it up for your twist. Take an inhale, reaching. Right hand up and exhale, bring it behind. Draw that right knee in and have that squeeze into that right hip. And then want to take that further. You can inhale, lift left hand, and then bring the elbow to the outside. So it becomes a twist as well as that sensation into the, losing my words, in the hip and the glute. And a twist. So as you inhale, lift the crown of the head, spine lifts, and as you exhale, twist. Take another inhale. And exhale, release. Bring the hands all the way over to the left side. Just to kind of unravel that. Release. Swap over the legs. Inhale the left hand up. Exhale behind. Draw that knee in. So I find that useful to kind of find that hip and glute stretch on that left side. So it's not so much of a twist at that moment. And then inhale, lift the right hand, and then exhale, it becomes a twist as well. And then you can work with the breath a few times. Inhale, lifting and lengthening, and exhaling to twist. Take an inhale, and exhale, release. Bring the hands all the way over to the other side, unraveling. Release the legs, bring the soles of the feet together. You might walk the pelvis towards the heels, or you might keep more of a gap. So feel what would be right there. And then inhaling to lift, so find some length, lift the heart. Keep the heart lifted, so keep the gaze forward as you fold forward. So it's really just kind of tilting through the pelvis. And it might not be far, it doesn't need to be far, just feel where is right for the inner hips, groin area. And then inhaling back to the center and exhale the chin to chest, and then that rolling through the spine. Across the shoulders. I like to kind of imagine that the crown of the head is going to come down towards the earth. It probably won't. But just that general feeling that that's where it's going to go. And then inhaling back to the top. Bring the knees back in together and then coming down onto your back. Draw the knees into the chest as you do. Have a little rock side to side. Take an inhale and exhale. Bring the soles of the feet down. feet hip distance, hands beside the body. Move through our bridge with the arms. So as you inhale, press the feet into the mat, lifting the hips, bring the hands up over the head, all the way down behind you. And the thumbs might come down behind the head. And then as you inhale, lift. So press into the feet a little bit more. So there's a little bit more weight that actually goes into the shoulders. Draw the knees towards one another. So you're really keeping the thighs engaged. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, the hands and hips can come all the way back down. So we'll do that a couple of times with the breath. Inhaling, lifting the hips, press into the feet, engage the legs, hands come all the way up and over as well. When you get to the top, it's that moment to just check in with the thighs, draw them in, really work the thighs, and then inhale, lift again, more weight into the shoulders, pushing into the feet. And then as you exhale, soften back down. Do that one more time with your breath. Inhale, lifting, hands all the way up and over the head. Belly draws in at the top a little, thighs draw in towards one another. And then inhale, lift, and exhale to release. Draw the knees in, have a little rock side to side, releasing that off. Take an inhale, squeeze the knees in, and as you exhale, bring the knees over to the right side for your twist. If you want to lengthen that left leg and have the right knee down as a little bit of a deeper twist, you could. Or cross the legs, but allow that right shoulder to soften into the earth. And kind of allow that twist to happen. You know, as little holding through the body as you can. Let go of the legs, go of the shoulders, let it kind of happen. So when you are kind of exploring this self-talk and this inner critic, it's really important to be kind to yourself, because quite often we can almost get annoyed with ourselves that we have this voice. And it's worth remembering that language is the vehicle for emotions. And it can have a major impact, even what we say to ourselves inside our head, inside our body. Sometimes it's not even words. It doesn't have to be words. It can just be that sense. You know, there's so much communication goes on with ourselves as well as one another that isn't spoken. And the idea is that we can really come home to who we truly are, accepting ourselves with that deep respect and honor and love that we deserve. And often it's really useful if you think of a dear friend. You know, you wouldn't speak to a dear friend in that way. You wouldn't speak to a loved one in that way. So why do we allow that to go on within ourselves? And just explore it. You know, there may not be easy answers. It's becoming aware. So when you're ready, inhale to come back to the center, adjusting hips or legs or anything that you need to do there, and then come over to the other side. And there's a really useful acronym that you can use if you become aware. So it's RAIN. So R stands for recognize. Recognize what is going on. Recognize the voice. Recognize what it's saying, how it's saying it. And then there's a little bit of allowing and accepting. So there's not a judgment, there's not a pushing away, and letting it be there. And then there's the investigation, investigation. Exploring it a bit more. You might, as you explore it, you might get a sense of the root of it, what it's really trying to say. And then N, the non-attachment. So this is the part where we perhaps broaden our perspective, have that wider lens on things, and then seeing if we can let them go. Because quite often when we've brought that broader perspective to what the voice is saying, it's quite easy to release it. And we might have that inner critic telling us, well, you didn't do that very well, should have done that better. But actually when you bring a broader perspective to it, you realize actually it's not that important, in the scheme of things. And then you can kind of easily invite in that love and compassion that we so deserve. So maybe remembering that, throughout your day this week, if you find it useful, just having like a moment to pause and go, okay, I'm recognizing that. I'm going to allow it to be there for a moment. I'm going to investigate it, see where it's coming from, what it's saying, and then having non-attachment. So when you're ready, inhale to come back to the center, and any final little adjustments, little movements that you need to then sink into your Shavasana. And gradually allowing the body to soften into the earth. Feeling the shoulders release, maybe the chin draw towards the chest, the back of the body heavy, the pelvis and the hips releasing, and the legs and feet heavy. And the Buddha says, you can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself. And that person is not to be found anywhere. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. And then beginning to find your breath again. Long, deep inhales. Long, deep exhales. A little bit of movement. Slowly coming back. Just to sit and pause. And be with your practice for a moment. You might bring the hands to prayer, or bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, and just be reminded of your intention for this week. Repeat it to yourself. If it is words, it doesn't have to be words. It can be a general sense and feeling. And letting it land within with a deep intentional breath. And as you continue through your week, you might be a little bit curious about the nature of your thoughts, and particularly those self-critical thoughts and the way they impact your sense of happiness and well-being. And just notice that as well. And you might even like to journal about them, about the kind of nature of your thoughts, as a way of kind of gaining real clarity on what is there. I find writing them down really useful. It kind of reduces their power and And you kind of see them with fresh eyes. So we'll close with one Om. Take a deep breath in. So thank you for your practice. Namaste.